Beverly Hills is becoming a ghost town. There's so many stores that close down, but since you live in your own little bubble, you don't see it. You just drive by, you recognize that one store is closing. Like, I can't believe it.
Disturbing story. A woman assaulted on the side of a busy Sherman Oaks street. Other women saying she's not the first one this happened to.
Bad guy got away, at least for now, but this is one of many disturbing and violent homeless attacks. It happened just Sunday evening with a little innocent girl eating an ice cream cone with her parents and their friend.
Walking on the sidewalk in the city. You can't do it. It's not safe here.
Traumatizing, not only for the little girl, but the adults she was with.
He turned in the seat and swerved, hit my friend's 6-year-old in the face, and the child fell to the ground.
Your daughter?
The video that Enrique Sandoval is describing is haunting.
One of them dropped it to the floor, holding by her hair.
It shows a half-dozen females assaulting his daughter, 32-year-old Marlene, as she attempts to stop them from robbing her workplace, M Beauty, on Whittier Boulevard in Commerce. The young woman tries to get away, but is overpowered. The female suspects run away. Marlene tries to get up, but collapses onto the ground.
Beaten and bloodied, but definitely not afraid. This woman is speaking out from her hospital bed tonight, just days after a vicious attack. She was attacked along the Venice canals on Saturday, and today police announced they tracked down the man who they believe is responsible.
And according to police reports, the vast majority of assaults are not reported, as people are afraid of reprisals. Because the vast majority of the victims are women. Look at that group of people who are there. Can you see what this boy has in his mouth? A small syringe with some substance.
And then when they put the gas tax on the gas, there was a much higher tax on the diesel if you didn't know. I drive diesel, I know. So when you put a higher tax on fuel, on diesel especially, it makes the products on the shelf go up in price. It's really simple. Everything from a store gets delivered to a store on a truck. And when that happens, especially heavy things like paint, lumber, the price of those things goes up a lot faster than other things. So all the building materials have gone way up in price because of the fuel prices increasing from the gas tax. And you guys might say, oh, well, that's just pennies. It's pennies. It's pennies. No, it's dollars. It's $1 a gallon in this state for gas tax. Every other state is nowhere near that. So when you add up all these things, it's just pennies here, pennies there, pennies here, pennies there, and all these little pennies add up to big dollars. And who's affected? It is the lowest income people that live here.
I haven't walked down the street yet, but look at this. Everything is absolutely just destroyed. It's unreal how fast the deterioration is ramping up here. I'll tour and talk to you about this because that down.
Now I can pass without any problem, for they are in their own world. Across the street is another group of people, and a gentleman like who comes and goes and comes. But they even have tiendita here, and with an improvised shelf. Until he was finally able to advance, Mr. The problem here is when the effect of the substances is reduced, and then they need to buy more. Then you are going to make anything to get easy money. Friend, don't worry too much about me. Better worrying about these stray souls. Anyway, I have to pass through here very carefully. And above all by taking care of myself, not to attack me from behind. for this is the most used by cowards. Attack from behind. And more commonly, attack women. Look across the street. A police patrol is on the street. But they care. A reverend who ate what happens here. It's here. Care more about blaming Mexico.
I don't believe you. There is no magic fire. I can't believe it. Stores are closing down everywhere. Santa Monica, 3rd Street, ghost town. Then you go to Venice Beach. You never seen empty stores there. Now when you walk up and down the boardwalk, there's so many stores out of business, but you would never expect this to happen in beautiful Beverly Hills, where all the rich and famous people hang out. Right next to this beautiful photo of Beverly Hills, this really big place is for rent. You can put a retail store or a restaurant in here. The last time I was here, this was like a pop-up store for like an artist. He was selling his art in here. And right in the heart of Beverly Hills, we got the Chamber of Commerce with a nice Beverly Hills sign. Whenever you enter Beverly Hills, you see one of those signs right next to the Beverly Hills Visitor Center. But if you look across the street, there's already disaster right there. Almost the whole block is out of business. We're gonna check it out. Right on Santa Monica on Cannon Drive, Folies. This place is huge. Les Dents se sont. I think there was a hair place. Lots of property, empty. All this empty. Portofino is still open, but the store next to it, out of business. Then you got Vini Couture, out of business. And it says right here, they have not paid the rent for a while. So this is why they're closing. They have abandoned the store. So they still probably owe money on the rent. A lot of people are behind the rent in Venice. Great art space. For lease. Right next to it, a shoe store, also for lease. For lease. And this is just one block from Rodeo Drive. This is the famous Brook Brothers store on Rodeo Drive. Before I tell you about this, right across the street, this place is also for lease. So if you have money, come down here, open a store, and $11 a jacket. Maybe you make the rent, but I have no idea how much the rent is. Looks like somebody just leased the store right next to Louis Vuitton. But whoever was in there before, out of business. Even at the Rodeo Collection, where they have a lot of plastic surgeon, this big store is out of business. For lease. Down this building behind it, took forever to build this one. And they all put like a nice facade from the outside, so you don't really can tell if there's a store or not, but they rebuilt this place right next to Balenciaga.
Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. California is one of the most highest tax states in the country, but millions of residents are in for a fresh jolt. There'll soon be a sizable new charge on their electricity bills based on their income. You heard that right. A big part of your utility bill in the now tarnished Golden State will be determined not just by the amount of electricity consumed, but also by how much money you earn. It's a new income tax, and it's combined with a novel income redistribution scheme. The legislatures passed this monstrosity a year ago, and the state's 3 large utilities are working with the Public Utilities Commission to implement the scheme. The, quote, income graduated fixed charges, end quote, involve 4 income brackets: under $28,000, $28,000 to $69,000, $69,000 to $180,000, and $180,000 and above. Electricity rates themselves will be cut so that lower income folks will end up paying less than they do now. That won't be much solace, however. The average cost of juice for the typical consumer in California is about 70% above the national average. When legislators put together this concoction, they added a weird provision that punishes high-income residents who have conscientiously reduced their electricity consumption, say by employing solar panels or by washing dishes only by hand. Their bills will go up by as much as nearly $2,000. They conserve, they get punished. And how will electric companies know your income? The state's tax collection agency will provide that information. That kind of data sharing guarantees that confidentiality of your income will be fried by hackers and dishonest utility employees. All that is awful enough, but the precedent here is even more dreadful. Why not base all prices of products and services on personal incomes? You buy a pair of sunglasses, you'd pay for them, plus the usual sales tax, and then an extra amount based on your income. What California is doing here is nothing less than a beachhead for what the left has been drooling for years.